everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Telepathy, your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast.
Wait, so true. Because, Emma Chamberlain and Alicia and Remy definitely listen to Telepathy.
They said it's all of their favorite podcasts. Actually, it's just a little bit underground, but we are so glad you could join us today. I'm very excited for today's topic. It was a little bit of one that I kind of came up with in the shower, and then I texted Anna, and I was like, wait, and we talked a lot about it. So, just to kind of
The
introduce it.
shower ideas are the best
No,
ideas.
literally, and that's an episode idea, shower thoughts. Wait.
Wait,
Okay, we
add
need to
that to
stop
the
adding
list.
episodes to our list that we'll never do. We will do it eventually. But okay, today's episode is about basically confidence and just like being secure within yourself and how that impacts the world around you. I know that sounds very broad when I'm explaining it, but we actually, like, I don't use this word very often, but we, like, dare I say, cooked a little bit.
Yeah. Also, this is not an advice podcast necessarily. We just like to talk about these topics and see where it takes us. So,
Right. Like, I feel like today you kind of have the perspective of somebody who's gone through it and grown.
mm-hmm.
And I'm the one that's still flopping, but like we'll get there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know what you mean, but you're not flopping.
Well, we'll discuss. Anyways, so we have to start off
Okay.
with what we do in every single episode where we do our camp question, our little telepathy traditions, because we have to feel like we're at summer camp and do corny little icebreakers. So it is my turn to come up with a question. So your name, your age, and then let's say we're in a cafe right now and they have coffee, matcha, tea, chai, anything basically that
Mm.
the dream cafe would have. What are you ordering at the moment? Like just what you're currently craving?
Ooh, okay. That's a good question. Okay, my name's Anna. I'm 21, and if I had to right now, I'd probably get chai. Like chai sounds really good right now. Like an iced chai. Um,
Okay.
and I like when they're kind of really sweet or just like when the coffee shop makes their own syrup. Like I love that and that sounds really good right now.
Okay. Are you like a whole milk person or are you getting an alternative milk?
Oh, yeah, I like whole milk. I feel like I'm one of the only people that just gets whole milk.
Yeah, sometimes I'll like push through because sometimes it does not make my stomach do good things. But sometimes I'll push through because it's like $1 extra at some places. And so
Oh,
we're
yeah.
just we're not dealing with that sometimes. But hi, I'm Enzo. Hello. All the way from Australia.
Hello.
I always say that I'm not from
Oh my
Australia.
goodness.
I'm like always talking in different accents, but
The amount of people who probably listen to our podcast that just have some random facts about us that just aren't true, that they
no,
just didn't
like
realize were sarcasm.
we'll sometimes be like we're cousins. We're not cousins. I'll be like I'm from Australia. I'm not from Australia. But I am 17. That part is true, and my name is Enzo. And I think at the moment I'm gonna go the matcha route. Probably like a matcha latte. I think I'm gonna do oat milk today. Which I know is like a little bit basic, a little bit
Oat milk is my favorite alternative milk.
same.
It's
Um,
just so alternative.
it's so alt TikTok. Alt TikTok was a
Yeah.
moment. Not a good one, but I think I'll probably
I can't believe, yeah, that was
yeah,
crazy.
I'll probably sweeten my matcha latte with either vanilla or if they have like a brown sugar. That would honestly be good because I would love to sit here and be like, I like it unsweetened, pure matcha, just straight as it comes, but I will be adding syrups today. Sorry.
No, yeah, I agree. I think matcha and chai are good with sweetener for sure.
Are you gonna go get a chai after we finish recording?
Honestly, that sounds so good. But the drinks here in LA are just so expensive.
Oh, that's so true. To fill everybody in who isn't aware, Anna loves to do this thing where during an episode, if we talk about something, you'll be like, wait, that sounds so good. And then
Mhm,
you'll go and
mhm.
get it. Insert fudgesicles.
I just actually finished my box of fudgesicles the other day, and it's so sad. I mean, I can go
It's
get
like
more, but
free refills, question mark.
well, I accidentally left the empty box in the freezer, so I went to get one, and there was nothing in it.
No, that's so depressing, especially with living with people. if they don't throw something away when it's finished and then you try to get it and it's like, where did it go? But yeah, so next we'll be doing our music and TV shout outs of the week. So take it away.
Okay. My song of the week is not a Declan McKenna song, despite the accent. I don't know where that came from.
It's okay.
my song of my song of the week is this song called Dead Crush by Alt J. I've been like listening through their discography and I got to this song and it actually has my name in it. And I like listened to it a first time and I didn't notice. And then I listened to it again. I was like, wait, it's like it literally says my name like 20 times in this song. So
They should
that's
rename
cool.
their band to Anna J.
Yeah. And then movie shout out. Or do you want to do your music shout out first? We never
It's
like
up to
do
you
both at
if
the
you
same
want.
time, but maybe we should start doing both at the same
Yeah,
time.
take it away.
But before we do that, I do want to say we have a playlist where we put all of our like song shoutouts into called the Telepathy playlist. So if you go to our Instagram at the Telepathy Pod, we have a highlight called the Telepathy playlist, and you can click on the link inside the highlight to get to our Spotify playlist. And then my movie shout out, actually, I actually don't really know if I have one. Last night me and my roommate watched The Idea of You, which is like a movie I'd been wanting to watch for a while. It has like Anne Hathaway, and it was filmed in Savannah, or some of it was filmed in Savannah, which is why I wanted to watch it. But then I like was literally half asleep during the whole second half of the movie, so I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what happened.
No, why do I fall asleep in every movie that I watch? It doesn't mean it's not entertaining. It doesn't mean it's boring and it's
Yeah,
not good. I just will fall asleep during a movie past the hour of like 9 p.m.
yeah. If I'm on like a couch, yeah, it's like low chances that I'll be like awake at the end of the movie. Um, and I think it was really good, and I kind of want to watch it again. But I was asleep.
We love that. Okay, so my music shout out is the song Firefighters by the band Being Dead, which I don't know why both of our music shout outs involve the word death either in the title or the artist name.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's funny.
but I think I found it in maybe like one of the Fresh Find Spotify playlists or some sort of one of the editorial playlists. I found it and I was like, wait, I like this. So that is my shout out for this week. It has good summer vibes. And then
What type of yeah? What like vibe of music is it?
I would
Because I
say
haven't
like
heard of that band.
indie rock, like kind of like garage rock. I don't know.
Okay, I'll have to listen to it.
Okay. And you can find it in the Telepathy playlist, which you already explained. But that's just, so fantastic. But my TV shout out, I've been rewatching Series of Unfortunate Events, which I
Oh,
think I've seen maybe 10 times. And I don't know why, for some reason, I'm incapable of watching new TV. Like, I always just revert back to the same shows,
mm-hmm.
but it's so good. And they do the books justice, and it's so interesting. So, it's such a good show. I just started season 2 last night, and I'm just gonna watch it all the way through.
Yeah, I never like finished that show, but I mean I read all the books, and it is so good. So I yeah. What
Yeah,
is it on?
it's on
Netflix?
Netflix. It's a Netflix original, actually, I think. But
Okay.
yeah, so those are all of our shout outs. Do we have any fun week recaps or do you have any like news? Because remember our news segment?
Oh my gosh, our news segment. Oh yeah. No, I don't have any news. But
I don't either.
let's see, what have I been doing this week? I've just been working. I just like working and then exploring LA. Me and my roommate are going to Catalina Island tomorrow. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I actually have.
Yeah, we're going there tomorrow. You have to take like a ferry to get there. And you have to like pay for the ferry both ways. So it's like a little bit expensive, but it seems like a fun day trip. So we're going to Catalina Island and um it's going to be like a whole day thing. I'm so excited.
And honestly, everything in LA is expensive, so or like everything just
Yeah.
in that vicinity. So it's kind of like you kind of just have to accept your fate.
Yeah, exactly. At least I'm only here for 10
There
weeks.
are some cheap things to do in LA. I watched this YouTube video. I think it's like Anya Katerina or something, or like Anna Catherine. She uploaded a video about like cheap LA things. So I would recommend it.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of her. She's kind of still a small YouTuber, but her videos are good. I think she uploaded last week. Yeah, that new video.
Yeah, so that's part of your week recap, I
Yeah.
guess, is
I think you can
posting.
find her if you just search like Anna Catherine on YouTube.
Yeah, which speaking of, I've been editing this week. If you want to search Enzo Antonio while you're there, just feel free. I posted 2 videos this week, I think.
Wow.
And yeah, because I had my little week, or I had my room cleanup thing, and then I just did a summer vlog, which I really liked. So definitely check out if you want.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't watch your
also,
summer vlog yet. I need to.
oh, should we stop recording and then come back? No, I'm just kidding. Imagine I like make you stop and go watch it, and I'm just kidding. Um, so yeah, I did that, and then I've also been working because I'm a YouTuber, but also like second job as a barista and a chef. So
Oh yeah.
just I've been working and doing
You're
that.
literally Enzo's kitchen.
Enzo's kitchen is alive and well and breathing,
Yeah. Enzo's kitchen is alive, just not on YouTube.
just in a literal kitchen now. But
Imagine hiring Enzo's kitchen as your like kitchen staff.
imagine, oh, just such a good thing to put on my resume. But yeah, so I've been doing that and then working late because I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I honestly I love the 9 to 5 work schedule because you get home at 5 and you're like you can do anything. And I don't want to just like sit around. For some reason it's not like school where I get home and I need to lay in bed for like 3 hours to recover. It's like I actually want to be productive and do stuff. So that's why I've actually had time to edit and upload. I'm so happy about it.
I love that. Just free from responsibilities. Um,
Yeah.
okay. With that being said, this might take a little bit of a drastic turn, but our episode. So I guess I'll explain sort of where this thought process came from and how we got to episode 52, I think.
Mhm. Mhm.
51, 52 of Telepathy. So I was in the shower and I was thinking about it. I was like, wait, like confidence and security are so important for so many aspects because I was thinking about it. I had this epiphany where I was like, oh my gosh, it's easier to hate somebody if they hate themselves.
Mhm.
And then I realized I came to this conclusion that confidence and security, like just security within yourself, is almost like a boundary because it kind of sets it up to where like
Mm.
I believe in myself, so like don't cross me, like you don't have the right to diminish my
Hmm.
value as a person because I know my worth. And let me just say I'm not at that point where I feel like I'm like, yes, I know my worth. Nowhere near that,
Wait,
but
that's yeah. Wait, sorry. Finish like the whole thought and then I'll
well that was
respond.
I'm nowhere near that, but I had this epiphany where I was like, oh my gosh, a lot of it comes down to just confidence and believing in yourself. And then it made me think to the Euphoria episode. I think it's where Maddie and Maddie's doing Lexi's makeup, and Lexi's like, oh, I feel stupid wearing all this like fun makeup, whatever. And I think Maddie's like, just don't feel stupid. And then Lexi's like, do you feel stupid? She's like, yeah, I did. And I just chose not to. And then she was saying that like 90% of life is confidence. And I was like,
And
why did she just crack the code?
didn't she also say like everybody feels stupid?
Yeah. So it's like, we're all kind of in the same position. It's just, well, not really. Of course, we all have different circumstances and stuff, but life throws a lot of shit at us, but it's just how you take it.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I'm going, so I'm going to let you talk now, finally. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think like the like boundary thing is interesting. Like also I feel like that makes sense for like self-care and stuff too because if you're or like how you treat yourself because if your boundary is like I'm not going to treat myself this way, like then you can be more confident, you know?
Right. Like if you put so much into yourself and like really take care of yourself, then it sort of sets the precedent that nobody else can treat you in a way that isn't beneficial to you.
Mm, mm. Wow. How prolific of a like you're really making me think.
No, sorry, because we were just talking about like series of worst events, and suddenly I'm like, confidence as a boundary.
I also just woke up like an hour ago and my brain is still like foggy. Like I just woke up like with a foggy brain, but I'll try to pull myself out of it. Okay. So the one thing that I wanted to like talk about based on like what you just said is I feel like I have a different opinion on like the it's easier to hate someone who hates themselves.
Yeah,
I feel like in my opinion it's easier to I'm not gonna say hate because hate is a strong word, but like it's easier to not like someone who is overly confident. Maybe not overly confident in just like a secure way, but like an overly confident, like maybe just borderline egotistical. Because I feel like not so much now, but especially in high school or like middle school, like if somebody was um overly confident, I feel like I would be jealous of them. So maybe it's
yeah,
not that I'm not maybe that it's I think that everyone likes them, so I'm jealous of them. So I don't really know where I stand with that now. But like I'm just saying like I feel like if somebody clearly like hates themselves, I don't necessarily hate them.
yeah. There's different ways to look at it because, and I will admit, I'm someone who definitely has a sense of humor that is very self deprecating. And my thing was always like, it's hard for somebody to make fun of me if I already make fun of myself so much.
Mm.
So it's like, you really can't hurt me because I already make fun of myself. And that I
Mm.
definitely still kind of stand by. And I don't know, but
I kind of agree with that in a way of like being able to laugh at yourself. Like if other people are laughing at you, like you laugh with them about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like being but I feel like that's if you're secure enough in yourself, you can laugh at yourself for certain things.
let's just say you say something stupid. Like, you're like, oh my God, there's 49 states and everyone's laughing at you. But you're like, okay, I just made a mistake. Like, I know I'm not dumb, but I can laugh at myself too.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, thinking that there's 49 states, like, yes, you're a little behind. So that was kind of an interesting example, but I don't know.
That was a funny example. But yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, Now let's all laugh at Enzo for saying that
Exactly.
example.
Ha ha ha. Ha.
Um, but like also this is funny because I feel like I'm just now thinking that this topic is like timely for the release of Inside Out 2 because
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
yeah, it's like I really liked it and I think they did like a really good job and it's definitely more for like our age group who grew up with did we already talk about this?
I think a little bit at the end of last episode, but
But
you can
like
go
yeah,
off.
like in the movie I kind of realized that like the emotions are just like things in your head that you can control. Like
Yeah.
literally it was actually so funny because the movie was like so much about anxiety and how you can like how anxiety was trying to take over, but you can kind of like choose to be like, okay, that's just an emotion. It's an emotion. It's not like actually something that has to take control of you. And then like when I got out of the movie, I like lost my car in the parking garage and I spent 30 minutes trying to find my car. And I could have like freaked out and been like, "Oh my gosh, I'm like never going to get home." But instead I was like, "No, I'm going to be rational and I can find my car and like I'm not going to get anxious because
Yeah.
anxiety." It was kind of funny. I was like applying the movie to my life.
Wait, I kind of love Inside Out too, having an impact on your parking garage
Yeah,
experience.
but yeah, I feel like just like emotions, like confidence is something that you can choose. Like you can choose the positive. Confidence isn't necessarily an emotion, but like you can choose to feel. Is confidence an emotion? Can confidence be an emotion? That's
Wait,
actually a question.
confidence. Is that an
Because
emotion? Or it's like a feeling, but like,
cuz actually
wait, I feel like confidence could be an emotion.
I feel like it could too because some days I feel confident in the same ways that I could feel like sad or anxious.
Yeah, it's almost like a way you feel about your emotions. So like you just feel confident in your overall self, which includes
Mm.
all of your emotions. So maybe it's this grander thing. What that means, don't ask me. But I just remembered that one of the things that we talked about when I first mentioned this idea to Anna was like if somebody is playing their music in the car and is, going through their playlist and they're like confident about
Mhm.
their music taste, like they don't seem ashamed by it, are you less likely to judge it?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know what the answer to that is, and I don't think it's that deep of a question, but I don't know. It's one of those things that goes to show that confidence, like if you are just like, yeah, like I like my playlist, whatever, these are all the songs that I like. It's like then you feel like you can't judge. But if somebody's like, don't judge my music taste, like it's a little weird, and then it's like this
Yeah.
strange music,
Okay,
then maybe you'll be
actually,
like,
yeah, actually I have a story to go along with this that I think actually like answers my question. So,
okay.
when I was in Lacoste studying abroad, we went on this field trip one day with my travel portfolio class, and there's this girl that's in my class that's like, I mean, we're all of us are art students and we can all be like weird, you know?
Right.
And I also feel like Gen Z in general is like more open to just being weird. But we were like driving in the car in the van with like my professor and this one girl had the aux and she like played music for like the whole car ride. It was like a 30-minute car ride. Um and she was playing like the Gummy Bear song and like like what's the word? Objectively bad music. But we were all like thoroughly enjoying it and like we were actually kind of like, wait, this is so fun and iconic. Like why? Like me personally, I could have never sat in a van with classmates that I hardly know and play music like that and be confident about it to where they didn't question it, you know?
Right. Like if this person was kind of acting all like, oh, like being awkward about it, like, isn't this so weird? Like it
Yeah.
might create an
But
awkward
she was, yeah.
atmosphere.
But she's just so confident that she was like, you guys don't know this, but like this is the right playlist choice for you guys today. Like we're gonna have so much fun listening to these objectively bad songs.
Wait, that's funny.
And I feel like none of us questioned it because we were all like, wait, this is actually she's like fully confident about this, so we're just gonna go along with it.
Right, like, she's kind of not asserting dominance, that sounds really, really dramatic, but
Yeah, yeah.
she's almost kind of, like, taking leadership and being like, "This is what we need today," and kind of trying to be
Yeah.
funny about it, but, like, the fact that she's so straightforward about it, it makes it seem not as weird, like, you're willing to, like, hear somebody out more.
Exactly. But if somebody was just sitting up in the passenger seat, like quiet and like not talking to anybody and like looking really insecure and then playing those songs, we'd all be sitting in the van looking at each other like, what is going on right now? You know?
Yeah, and I guess it's not just confidence, it's also about not taking anything too seriously,
Yeah.
like, the fact that she was able to just let go. And I think that you
Yeah.
do have to get to a certain amount of confidence to not take things super seriously
Yeah.
because she was able to just let go and play it and be like, let's just have fun and didn't have to make it this whole like weird, awkward situation.
Yeah, that's so true because I think I can be confident with certain things, but I definitely couldn't have done something like that. But yeah, it definitely is. I feel like confidence definitely is like just not taking anything too seriously, for sure.
Right. Okay, so some of the other notes that I had written down were kind of how confidence plays out in different scenarios. So, obviously it's important in friendships, just so once again, you kind of have it as that boundary where the person knows they can't just walk all over you. And then also I think confidence in the workplace is super important because
Mhm.
I think if you have some sort of, you know, a leadership position. I think that confidence definitely is a huge thing in leadership. And then also, if you're confident in your abilities and kind of know your worth, then, employers can't take advantage of you. And then you'll be able to actually speak up for yourself and say, hey, I know that my work is worth more than blah, blah, blah per hour.
Mhm.
And then I think people are like going to respect you so much more if you're confident in your abilities rather than just being like, yeah, you can underpay me. Like, it's whatever. Like, I don't,
Mhm.
if you don't sort of allow that behavior, I think people will definitely look at you differently.
Yeah, and it's like hard because it's like especially being in like a corporate position like I am right now, it's hard to like have to be confident every day and just like talk to people as if I feel like it's especially hard like being an intern because as an intern you automatically feel like lower than everybody else.
Yeah.
I feel like it's harder to be like confident as an intern because it's also like I don't want to be overly confident as an intern because like I don't want to be to the point where I'm like egotistical or whatever or
Yeah.
like can
Or
you
seem like
picture
you're
like
trying to fill a position that's not yours?
yeah or like trying too hard like trying to please the authorities or whatever. Um
Yeah. No, I get that.
but I think it's definitely important to be like confident in job positions because that's what eventually will get you connections to like move up higher or whatever. So yeah, I was like thinking about that a lot, especially when I first started my job like a month ago. And it's also interesting because I think about this a lot. Like when you, whenever I'm like in a situation where I'm about to like meet a bunch of new people and I'm not with the old people, I feel like I have the opportunity to like start over and like
That's
have like a
such
new
a big thing.
personality. Not like a new
Yes.
personality necessarily, but like I can appear more confident because they don't know about my past or whatever. Whereas for like people who I've known forever, perhaps have like seen me like come more out of my shell, which I hate that word. And like when somebody tells me that they've gotten to see me like come out of my shell, like I hate that so much for some reason. But
Uh-huh.
um yeah, but like when I'm like in a new situation where I can meet a bunch of new people, it's like they don't know me before, so I can just act like I actually am now.
Right. Like you can rewrite the narrative. Like, this is me now. This is who I've always been. Like they don't have to
Yeah.
know your embarrassing moments from middle school or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm like making up a new version of myself. It's that like I can just actually be who I am now.
Right. But I feel like almost confidence can allow you to sort of acknowledge that this past version of myself, like, unfortunately, yes, that was still me. That little thing that you see in the pictures in middle school, that unfortunately is me. But you can be confident in the fact that you've grown and like you're just not
Yeah.
that same person anymore. And that trying to perceive you as that, it's almost like stupid because it's like, that's not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so now I feel like well, I kind of wanted to talk about like do you think confidence is an age thing or do you think it just kind of happens for different people at different times in their life? Because for example, I feel like I especially just like since turning 21, just like this year alone, I've just felt much more secure in myself and confident and like I don't really know why, but it just kind of clicked. It's almost like I feel like my brain just like developed or something.
Yeah. I mean, it can definitely be different reasons. Like it could be sociocultural, you know what I mean? Because the
Bringing out
idea,
the vocab
I
today.
know, like hoping
Sociocultural.
hoping I
Shout
did good on
out
that
to
AP Psych final.
shout out to the socioculturals.
Yes. No, okay, but like it can be because as a society we see your 20s as this next level, so you just mentally feel like you're
Mm,
moving up with it. It could also be a biological thing where like your frontal lobe is just almost there, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
But I watched
Just
this
reach
Alicia
the
Marie
home
video.
stretch.
No, literally almost there. Frontal lobe, we're coming. Not me. Honestly, I kind of have like a bit to go. I have like a good like 8 years to go.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, why am I gonna be 25 in 8 years?
Wait, that's don't even say that.
Let me not. That doesn't sound right.
That does not.
I know.
I thought you were
Okay.
like 2.
No, I literally am 12 and nobody can tell me otherwise. The pandemic did wonders.
Actually though, like I feel like somehow you got stuck at 12, and maybe it's because of the COVID phenomenon, but like when I try to think of how old you are, I'm like, oh yeah, Enzo's 12. And then I'm like,
What? Okay,
well, like
well, it's
when you
definitely
think
the,
of
the
me,
pandemic phenomenon, I feel like.
it definitely is.
But also it could be the younger sibling, because I've always been like the youngest, and obviously it's never gonna change. Like I'm never gonna surpass you.
Yeah. But
Um,
also, I still feel like I'm 18, so like me thinking of you as 12 isn't really like
yeah.
saying much.
No, okay, true. Um, anyways, so I watched this Alicia Marie episode where she talked about, just how she's feeling at 31 and just, being freshly into her
Mm,
30s. She was saying that when she was 30, like something just clicked. Like she doesn't know why, but she just stopped caring what other people think.
mm-hmm.
So it could definitely be an age thing. I don't know. I kind of feel like there are a lot of people kind of around our age who will try to act confident, and that's the thing with the Euphoria is when Maddie says that's the thing about confidence is nobody knows if it's real or not.
Mm,
So it's kind
yeah.
of like, you know, and I
And
want to, okay, sorry, go.
well, no, wait. Say what you were gonna say.
No, mine was kind of off topic.
Oh, okay. Well, mine kind of was too, but I was gonna say like also when she says everybody feels weird, like I feel like that's kind of true. And I feel like once you realize that everybody feels, it's kind of like with imposter syndrome. Like with imposter syndrome, you think that you're the only one that like doesn't fit in with this thing that you're doing and that you like aren't qualified or whatever. Whereas actually like pretty much everybody feels imposter syndrome. So it's kind of like that. Like once you realize that everybody's kind of like faking it till they make it, like you can be like, oh wait, I'm gonna do that too.
Exactly. So, for example, if it's the first day of your freshman year in college and you walk in to a building and you've been so used to being like the only person, not like the only person, but just one of the only people at your high school that has a specific interest. Let's say film, for no particular reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like at high school there weren't that many people who were interested in film, but now you get to college and you're in a room with people who like that's their primary passion. And so now you feel kind of intimidated and like you don't belong and that wow, like everybody's just as good or better. Everyone's probably better than me. But it's like everybody in that room is also just a freshman who is there for their first day of class studying film. So it's like the playing field is equal, even if, some people may have more experience and some don't. It's definitely just how you go about it because if you kind of establish yourself as the person who, like, oh, I don't know that much or I don't know the technical terms,
Mm-hmm.
then people are probably going to look down on you, maybe. But if you kind of just own the like, hey, I'm still learning things, but like this is my passion, I got this. I feel like people will have such a different perception of you.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. And like when you realize that everybody else is honestly everybody else is thinking more about themselves than you. Like nobody's sitting there analyzing you being like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" Like for example, when like sometimes if I were in my, sometimes if I like go places by myself, I'm thinking more about like how people are perceiving me or whatever than like actually just enjoying the present moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm at like a coffee shop, but I'm like everybody's probably looking at me like thinking what am I doing? And then I was like, wait, literally the other two people I'm thinking about are also there by themselves and I'm not thinking of them weird. So like what am I, yeah, like what am
Yeah.
I, why am I thinking this way? Or like I went to the park last week and I was just like doing watercolors and I was like everybody's probably looking at me. But then I just got like zoned into what I was doing and just like being in the present moment and I was like, so Or what if people are thinking like, "Oh, look at that cool girl sitting by herself doing watercolors. Like, I want to be like her." Sometimes I think that
Exactly.
way. I'm like, actually, I'm so cool. Like, people are looking at me being like, whoa, that's cool, instead of being like, what are you doing? So sometimes even just reframing your mind to think that way, even if it's not necessarily true. Like, I don't know if it's true or not because I don't know how people perceive me, but like, you can reframe how you think to be like, it's actually cool that I'm doing this, not weird.
Yeah, and if you're in a coffee shop and you're sitting there alone and everybody else is like with a friend chatting it up or something, if you're sitting there and you almost look out of place, which sounds a little weird, but if you're constantly looking up and looking at other people being like, "Oh, are they judging me?" I feel like then that's going to catch people's attention and they'll start looking at you like, "What are you up to?"
Mm,
But if you're just sitting there typing away on your computer, getting your things done and just not really paying attention to everybody around you, then I feel like people are just going to take it as, "Oh, they're over there working," you know?
mm-hmm.
Like and I don't know. I guess the question now is like with the fake it till you make it confidence, like how far does that take you? Like in the long run, how much does it actually benefit you faking confidence?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if to the outsider it looks like you have your life together and you're not out of place, mentally, if you still feel like that at the end of the day, I feel like that's still what's going to burden you the most.
Yeah, I feel like that's such an interesting thing to think about. Like, what's the average amount of time that people fake it until they make it? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like me I actually can't even think about how often I would like think that way, but I feel like maybe in high school I used the fake it till you make it thing a lot, and maybe in college. Now I kind of feel like I don't have to think that way. For me now, I feel like I feel like for me now, confidence really is like a feeling. Like some days I just wake up feeling more confident and some days I don't. And I'd say it's like
Yeah,
50-50. And a lot of the time it also just depends on what I'm wearing. Or like, I don't feel like you should base your worth or whatever off of what you're wearing or like how you look. But if I put on an outfit that I feel like really good in, I feel more confident.
for sure.
And I think that that definitely like is important to like on how to feel confident is just to like wear clothes that you feel comfortable in.
Well, I was just going to say now about like overconfidence. Like, I think sometimes people will take confidence as this thing where you're on top and you look down on everyone, when in reality, the way I see it, like, I don't think a confident person looks down on other people.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they know their worth and they're willing to respect everybody else, whether the other people realize their own worth. Like, a confident person will see that, like, everybody has potential and, everybody is like
Yeah.
uniquely doing their own thing. But I think sometimes social media, here comes the social media part of the episode, but you can literally change how people perceive you. So kind of like you were saying with meeting new people, like on social media, if you want to rebrand yourself even to people that you've known for years, and you can now clear your whole feed and come up with a new aesthetic or something.
Mhm.
And I think people will take this whole confidence thing and try to do it to like look down on other people. Like in my opinion, confidence doesn't mean posting like Maddy photos on Instagram with the caption like "I could steal your man." Like skip. No. That's not what we're talking about
Yeah,
here.
I think that yeah, that's it's interesting because like I was thinking about okay, in general, I feel like me as a person went through a rebrand while I was like studying abroad and also right now just like being the past few months for me just has been very much like a rebrand for myself, like as in I've learned so much about myself. Like it's not about other people, it's just like I feel like I've learned so much about myself. And then I've kind of like channeled that outwardly into like how I present myself to other people. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like
No, yeah, I get that.
um and I feel like I gained a lot more confidence like being in such like a faraway place with having to meet all new people. Like it's basically like I was taken out of my current life and put into like a new life where I had to kind of start from scratch for a few months,
Yeah.
and it actually like worked out really well in my favor because I just like learned so much about myself. And where was I going with this? Oh, but then like it's funny because I feel like then I became more comfortable with like posting on social media and like just being myself. Like I used to be kind of like nervous to post my YouTube videos on my Instagram story or like our podcast episodes just because it's like I don't know. It's like people can go watch stuff about your life. Like I don't really
Yeah. And that type of thing is always viewed as embarrassing. Like I feel like
yeah.
having a YouTube channel was always seen as something that like, oh, like that's weird.
Yeah, but then I was like, what if I just like don't care? Like because all the people I met in person that do know I have a YouTube channel like think it's cool and they watch my videos. So like what's the big deal? But also like then I started to realize more about how social media is just so like fake because if you look back through like all of my Instagram posts of like the past few months, it just seems like I'm like living the best time ever and like having the best time ever, which like I was, but also like that doesn't mean that there were like bad things that happened. Like I would
Yeah.
post like from every like city I went to and it looked like so picture perfect in the pictures, but then when you hear like the full stories about how chaotic all the trips were, like it was, like there's always even though I became more confident on social media, I also realized in turn that social media isn't real because you are only posting like the highlights.
Yeah. And that's like not a bad thing, but you just sort of have to realize it and take it with a grain of salt because, you know, obviously you're going to post the pretty sights that you were seeing in France and not, I don't know, the time where you accidentally rented an electric vehicle and had to like charge just for 6 hours or something.
Oh my gosh, yes. Or the time, or or posting a picture of me in front of the Coliseum when I literally threw up in front of the Coliseum the next
Yeah,
day.
exactly. But it's like, what are you supposed to do? Put a disclaimer and like put a picture of your throw up in front of the Coliseum being like proof that social media isn't reality. Like you don't have to show kind of like all of those moments 24/7. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make you like you're not deceiving anybody just by posting a picture of the Coliseum because you can't just assume that because you're there, you're having the time of your life. And it doesn't mean you're not having a good time. It's
Mhm.
just like you can't see something and just immediately assume like, ugh, their life is so much better than mine and I'm not doing this because,
Yeah.
they're just living their life and posting the highlights from it.
Yeah, and I think then that ties back into confidence because confidence I think is also just realizing A that like not everything is should be taken seriously and B not everything is perfect. So I think that's what, comes from it. Like I think you can be more confident when you realize that like not everything is perfect. And confident people, yeah, and confident people can look like their life is perfect, but then when you become confident, you realize that it's not that way.
Right. And a confident person can also post like something that may be a little bit more real and not as picture perfect, or they may not. Like that
Mhm.
doesn't change anything. But going back to what you were saying earlier about the YouTube thing, like I remember in middle school when I was just that little YouTuber with like 400 subscribers, there were definitely some
Mhm.
people who didn't take it seriously. Like they kind of just wrote it off as a joke or were just like, oh, LOL, like you make YouTube videos, whatever. But then as soon as my videos started getting traction during the pandemic, there were some people who started being like, oh, like, can I be in a vlog? Or like,
Mm.
not trying to seem like I'm this like, oh, people changed when I got famous. Like, that's not the case, and I'm not famous. So, but it just goes to show that you have to take this certain like level of security within yourself to be like, I'm working hard on these videos and I like them. So whether whether you're just writing me off as a joke or suddenly clinging because you see that it's actually working, I'm not going to
Mhm.
change like who I am because of that because all along I
Mm.
was proud of my videos and stuff. So you kind of can't take that away from me, like you can't try
Mhm.
to make my value based on numbers and stuff because And I'm not saying that I have been sitting here all along being like, I don't care about the numbers. Like, I'm proud of my videos. Like, there's definitely been a point where views have been affecting how I feel about the video quality, and I'll think, oh, this got less, so it's not as good. But I'm just saying this perfect world scenario where, like, if I just remain kind of confident in my ability to make YouTube videos and stuff and not let how people perceive that change how I feel about them.
Yeah, I think that's so true. Is like the biggest thing about confidence is like doing what you want and not letting other people, like not letting like the outward reception of what you're doing like change what you're doing because you're just doing what you want to do. It's funny that actually reminds me. I don't you never listened to the Tortured Poets Department, did you?
I did listen to a little bit of the vinyl, but I did not finish the album.
Okay. But there's this song um the song But Daddy I Love Him. It reminds me of that. I mean, it's about like a relationship, but like it's like everybody judging you when they don't actually know like why you want to be in that situation. Like
Yeah,
and being like I'm not going to let your opinions like change me being with this person.
yeah,
So it kind of like that's kind of just along the same lines of like I'm not going to let your opinions change like what I'm doing for fun or what my job is or what food I eat. I
yeah,
don't know.
because I'm the type of person
Like it could apply to anything.
that, like, if I say something and somebody's like disagrees with it, for example, I'm like, oh, I like this song. They're like, oh, the chorus is weird. I'm like, yeah, the production is actually kind of funky and it's a little bit weird, but yeah, it's an okay song. And then, like, I'll kind of morph my opinion to
Mhm.
fit the room.
Mhm.
And, like,
Mhm.
I feel like it's almost sort of a defense mechanism, but I feel like learning to be okay with saying your opinion and then somebody disagreeing and then being like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, like I see why you feel that way. Like, I feel like I really vibe with the song, whatever. And I feel like from there, you can actually like develop stronger connections because you don't feel like you're putting on this sort of um buddy
Yeah.
buddy persona where like you're friends with everyone because a friend to all is a friend to none.
Oh my gosh, so poetic.
So
But
true.
like yeah, like if that's so true though because if you I feel like the people who I think are cool are people who have like opinions that I don't have or haven't formed yet and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool that they like are secure in their opinion of that."
Yeah.
Whether it's something like like, it doesn't have to be something deep. I'm just saying something stupid like a hobby or like
Or
music.
even
Yeah.
like if you're trying to decide in a group where to go to eat. And if somebody has an option
Mm.
that they're like pretty set on, but you're like, well, we could go to, I don't know, Chipotle, but I don't know, it's not that. And then somebody's like, this place is really good. I feel like people are more likely to be like, yeah, let's go there.
True, true. Like the way you present it. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, that's something that I don't, that's why I get super astonished when people are like secure in their opinions because I'm really bad at that.
No, same. Like I can't like I yeah, I get embarrassed saying up front that something that I think something is good because then if I show the person this thing and they don't think it's good, I'm like, what are they gonna think of me? Like, for example, if I'm like, oh my gosh, my favorite band is Blur. Their music is just so silly and good. And then like I play their music and then people are like, "Oh, that's kind of weird." Then I'm like embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly. But if you were to play it and the people weren't vibing with it, and it's like, I don't know, you don't have to then all of a sudden trash your own opinion. You can just be like, well, guess it's just me that likes the
Yeah.
song, whatever. I don't know. But
For yeah, like for example, the many people that I've made watch Moulin Rouge, a few of them haven't liked it, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna judge you for that because it's the greatest movie ever created,
asserting your
but I'm
dominance
not
and
actually
judging
gonna judge
instead of,
you.
no, I'm just kidding.
No, but I'm actually like, I don't feel, I still feel secure in my opinion that Moulin Rouge is the best movie ever created, and I'm sad that you can't relate, but like, I respect your opinion, but I still am not gonna shy away from my opinion because
Yeah,
like
like it doesn't mean you have bad
it works
taste.
for me. Yeah, it works for me. It might not work for you.
Right. And I mean, honestly, in conclusion, this whole episode is calling me out and I feel very exposed. But also, here's the thing, I've been talking about confidence, and nowhere in this episode did I imply, oh, I have this down to a T and I am such a confident person. I didn't imply that anywhere in the episode, yet I still feel the need to clarify, like, guys, this isn't me. Like, I'm so bad at this,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And it's like, why do I have to? I don't like, I'm almost proving my own point, but I'm also very much calling myself out in this episode. So I feel like I do need to clarify that.
I think I think the moral of the story is that like it does come with age because I feel way more confident now than I even did like a year ago or like 5 months ago. But once you realize that it's not that deep and that everybody kind of feels the same way, it's easier to like get to that point sooner.
Yeah, like you can't change other people's perception of you, but you can change how, like, your mental framework and all of that. And so it's never not that deep, or it's never that deep.
It really is, yeah. It really is just like a mental thing that you just have to get past yourself, I believe. Which like I think once I turned 21, I kind of got it's like a roadblock that you kind of have to like chip away at. It's like a it's like a pothole that you have to slowly refill until you can drive smoothly.
Yes. And even if a lot of it does come with age, it's not always linear. Like, you may feel so confident at 22,
Yeah,
but at 24, you're like, oh, what am I doing? Who is this? What is my purpose? And
true.
that's completely fine
True.
and a normal thought process. You just can't beat yourself up over it or be convinced that you have this impending doom.
Yeah, like it's weird to think about that because I feel pretty confident because I'm at the end of college. But then once I leave college, it's like I'm a baby adult. So then I'll probably feel not as confident anymore.
Exactly.
Like it's like it depends on like what stage in your life in you're what stage in your life you're in.
Okay, I'm sensing major self-growth here from our episode today. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys also kind of had something that maybe clicked a little or something that you'll take and do something great with this week. That's your homework, is to be confident and do something
Yeah.
fantastic this week.
Yeah. Please interact with us. Like literally don't be scared to DM us. We love DMing you guys when you rarely DM us when we get the rare
And
DM
even the silent
or comment on
listeners,
our
we love you. We
post.
see you. Shout out to you.
True. Yeah. And our parents, thanks for listening.
Yes, guys, my dad, I think, listened to his first episode of Telepathy
I'm
last week.
so happy for him.
And he was into it. My mom called and he was on the phone, and then I paused it. And then he like got off the phone. He was like, "Turn it back on." And I was like, "Okay." He's a fan.
I love that. I love that. But yeah, thanks for listening, anyone who's listening. Hope you enjoy. Share it with a friend. Rate our podcast on Spotify. Um, reply to our camp questions. Go to our Instagram at the Telepathy Pod and interact.
And be
That's all we ask.
confident and live, laugh, and laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next Tuesday. Follow at the Telepathy Pod and let us know your thoughts. Goodbye.
au revoir.